1,000. That's got to be a lucky number for you here. Next up, Delegate Ziegler, presenting for Howard County delegation. And Delegate Howard will do best for last here. You'll wrap things up. Delegate Ziegler, this is House Bill 1171 from the Howard County Board of Ed, student member voting, and it's Howard County 7-26, and Gavin Valken is back with us.
He is. I continue to contribute to the absenteeism of a minor. So we'll count on you to fix that. My name for the record is Delegate Natalie Ziegler, here for the Howard County delegation. And yes, I'm here with House Bill 1171. So this would expand voting rights for the student member of the board to everything essentially except contract negotiations and personnel decisions. So it's similar to what Baltimore County does. Anne Arundel and Montgomery have complete voting rights for their student member of the board. This is something I think is getting more and more important every day. First of all, to state the obvious, students are much, much closer to what's going on in their schools than the elected members of the board are. And I think it's an increasingly important voice. But also, I would argue that the pace of change has been so extraordinary in my lifetime. I feel as though I grew up in a different world than my children, and my grandchildren are growing up in a completely different world. And the length of a generation is shrinking as a result. We used to think of it as 20 years. I would argue that now it's closer to 10 or maybe 5. So youth voices become more and more important every year. And I also think it's critical that we get young people involved in politics and engaged in their country. As we always say, democracy is not a spectator sport, and I think this is a great place to start. So with that, I urge a favorable report, and I'll turn it over to my much more interesting teammate.
Good afternoon, Chair Feldman, Vice Chairwoman Kagan, and esteemed members of the EEE Committee. First, I just want to say, I promise this is my last testimony. Thank you guys for indulging with me today. But that being said, my name is Gavin Falcone. I'm a junior at Long Reach High School, and I'm also currently a finalist for Howard County Student Member on the Board of Education, as well as the former president of the Howard County Student Council, representing all 55,000 plus Howard County students. All that in mind, I'm here today in support of HB 1171. Through both my past leadership and experience, I've had the opportunity to engage with students across the county. And one thing is clear, students want their voices to matter on decisions that affect them most. Right now, the student member represents 55,000 students, but has limited voting power on some of those impactful issues, including budget and redistricting. So decisions directly impact students' daily experiences, where we go to school, what resources we have, or how our education is even funded to begin with. HB 1171 addresses that by expanding the SMOB's voting rights on these key issues while still maintaining clear limitations on matters like personnel and collective bargaining. This is not about giving students the ultimate authority. It's about ensuring that the role of student member reflects the responsibilities that it already carries. Students who run for this position go for a rigorous process, countywide elections, and much more than the naked eye can see. They are chosen by their peers, expected to represent a large member, as many of you, or a large amount of students, as many of you are here with your constituents, and are held accountable by their decisions through those constituents. And more importantly, other counties, as Delegate Ziegler mentioned, are already doing this exact piece of legislation and have more voting rights in some respects. This bill ensures Howard County students are not left behind because at the end of the day, student voice shouldn't be symbolic, it should be meaningful. If we expect students to live with these decisions, we should have them in a vote to make sure they're heard. Thank you guys for your time, consideration, and making it to my first time out of the Ways and Means Committee.
Gavin, I don't know quite how you have time to study. Let's see, any questions for either Delegate Ziegler or for Gavin Falcone? Seeing none. Oh, Senator Hester.
Thank you so much, Delegate Ziegler. It's always great to see you as chair of the Howard County delegation. Gavin, one of the things that we were talking about was the extent to which student members of the board are threatened, and whether or not expanding your responsibilities raises any more threats. Mm-hmm. And the feedback that we received is that SMOBs are getting threatened whether or not they can vote on things. And I just wanted your take on that analysis.
Yeah, so first I just want to preface, Aaron wasn't able to make it today, but I know he testified in support. Aaron, for everybody who's not aware, is our current student member on the board of Howard County. At least personally, he has not received any immediate threats, so I can speak to that. And I know a lot of the mobs in other counties who have more voting rights don't experience those threats to that level, at least that I've noticed. For example, in Nuva, Montgomery County, Braden, and Anne Arundel County, both feel they can do their jobs very fulfilling despite any boundaries in that. Beyond that, in the candidate meeting, so for a preface, in Howard County, we have a nomination convention where 6 delegates from every high school and 3 from every middle school elect the final 2 candidates to represent them and get elected by the whole county. From there, we are given a meeting where they are given over the responsibilities that threats may be happening. So you agree to this with your parents, and it's a conjoint decision. So God forbid that happens, you have made that commitment, and in a way, you are an elected official. Most of these students are serving in capacities representing a body, I would say, much more involved than some of our adult counterparts in these decisions. And especially if you look at the Board of Education, though, the SMOB alone receives over 20,000 votes. That's more than even that large seats in Howard County. And having such a direct correlation, I feel like I would say I know that they can handle it and that they have taken on the responsibility and are aware of any risks that may happen prior.
Okay, seeing no other questions, thank you both. That completes the hearing on House Bill 1171.